Someone says the thing, the dig, the criticism, the tone, and before you've decided anything at all, it's already happening. The sharp reply, the tight face, the heat climbing up your neck. Later, you replay it and think, why did I give them that? Here's what nobody teaches you. The problem was never that you reacted badly. It's that you reacted at all, that there was no space between the spark and the swing. Almost every mess you've ever made lived in that missing space. We think our reactions are us. I just have a temper. That's just how I am. But a reaction isn't your character, it's a reflex. A groove worn so deep that the trigger and the response feel like the same event. They are not the same event, and the gap between them is the most valuable real estate you will ever own. So let's name it. Between what happens to you and what you do about it, there is a gap, a space, and in that space sits your entire freedom, the power to choose a response instead of firing one off. Call it the gap. Here's the problem. For most people, most of the time, the gap is zero. The email lands, the stomach drops, and the reply is already typed. The comment hits and the voice is already sharp. Trigger and reaction fused into one event with no daylight between them. And a person with a 0-second gap isn't free. They're a vending machine. Anyone who learns which button to push gets exactly what they want out of you. Every time. For years, I was actually proud of my fast reactions. Quick comebacks, quick temper. I called it being sharp. What it really was being easy to operate. Anyone who wanted to ruin my afternoon could do it in one sentence. And I handed them that power for free every single time. What finally landed was realizing my so-called sharpness had never once made my life better. It just made me predictable. Now the science that makes the gap possible, and it is wildly freeing. When something triggers you, your body dumps a chemical surge. The heat, the tight chest, the urge to do something now. But that surge has a shelf life. Left unfed, the physical wave of an emotion runs its course in about 90 seconds. 90 seconds, that's it. So why do we stay angry for hours, days, years? Because we feed it. The wave wants to pass, and we keep it alive with the story. How dare they? Who do they think they are? This always happens to me. The feeling is biology. The suffering after 90 seconds is a story you are choosing to keep telling. So the move is almost stupidly physical. When the wave hits, you don't act and you don't argue with it. You name it, there's the wave, and you let it move through you like weather. You wait it out. And on the other side, the urge that felt like life or death 5 seconds ago looks like exactly what it was, a chemical passing. The first time I actually did this, I felt ridiculous. Someone said something that would normally wreck my entire day, and instead of firing back, I just sat in it, felt the heat come up, said to myself, this is the wave, give it a minute. It was the longest, most uncomfortable minute, and then it genuinely passed. The thing I had been about to say, the thing I would have died on a hill for, I didn't even want to say anymore. I didn't win that moment by being strong. I won it by waiting longer than the chemical could. So how do you actually widen the gap when your whole nervous system is screaming, go, you don't need an hour, you need one beat, one single breath between the trigger and the move. That beat is the entire skill, everything else is just reps. Because here is what a reaction and a response really are. A reaction is automatic and it's about them, their dig, their bait, their button. A response is chosen and it's about you. Your values, your aim, who you decided to be before you ever walked in the room. Same situation, completely different person, depending on one thing, whether you gave yourself the beat, and you build that beat where it's easy, so it's there when it's hard. The reply you don't send for 10 minutes. The let me think about that, instead of an instant yes. The comment you read, feel the pull to fire back at, and you just close the app. Small reps on small stakes, quietly wiring in a gap that will save you on the day it actually counts. So let's be clear about what not reacting actually is. It is not being cold, it is not swallowing everything and calling it peace, and it is not losing. The person who doesn't react isn't the weak one in the room. They're the only one who's actually free. Everyone else is being driven. Every reaction you don't hand over is a piece of your life you keep for yourself. The trigger was never the problem. The 0-second gap is the problem, so build the gap. Feel the wave and let it pass. Put one beat between what happens and what you do, and watch how much of your life quietly stops being decided by other people. You can't always choose what happens to you, but in that gap, you always get to choose what happens next. And if this hit home, here's where it goes next. Once you can hold that gap, you start to notice something. Certain people in your life are always trying to collapse it. They need your reaction. They feed on it. Next time, we name them. The 6 types of people quietly draining you and exactly how to spot them. I'll see you there.